So some news that might have went like a little under the radar for MTG Las Vegas is that there was like an actual zoo deck that made the top 45. We have a literal zoo deck here. Dryad Arbor, just you randomly get with a fetch land. We've got Dragon Rage Chandler, Goblin Guide, Monastery Swift Spear, Ragvan Nimble Pilfer, backed up by things like Mishra's Bauble, Lightning Bolt, Mutagenic Growth, Rancor. Little Rancor made it that deep, people. Scale Up, Boros Charm, and Become Immense. Forget the prowess decks, forget this and that. Just getting in on the ground with these little dinky creatures. I mean, Goblin Guide is seeing play outside of the burn deck, for crying out loud. This is as zoo as it gets. And you got the Naya colors, and they've got the sideboard of Tormod's Crypt, Gutshot, Void Mirror, Ancient Grudge, Core Firewalker, and of course, you gotta have that Lurrus. You don't got that Lurrus, you don't show that companion. It's like you're not part of like the big kid club in the modern format. Anyway, I thought that was pretty impressive. It's not often that you see cards like Become Immense be useful outside of Infect, or Rancor even seeing actual tier competitive play whatsoever. And even Scale Up now has a little bit of a home outside of the Infect deck. I wonder if people are going to try to evolve this deck beyond what we see here. But anyway, that's very interesting. In the Naya colors, we see something of a zoo deck seeing play in Modern. If you want that deck, you can find the deck list in the description below. Alright, welcome everyone to Coffee and MTG. I'm your host, Nikachu the Merfolk Master. Good morning, and what is a good morning without great sponsors like FusionGamingOnline.com? Whoops. Was I shopping for Glasspool Mimics? Deal of the week this week. And this is the biggest deal of all deals. This is the granddaddy of the deals at Fusion Gaming Online. Black Friday sale. Save up to 25% off store-wide. Whatever you buy, whatever goes into your, what's it called? Shopping cart, the carts, whatever's in that cart, it can be up to 25% off. 15% off everything, but if you go over $500, you get an additional 5% off all your orders. And if you exceed $1,500, you get another 5%. You get another 5% off. It's insane. But you know what's even more crazy than that? You can still use coupon code Nikachu for like 30% off at FusionGamingOnline.com. Then we're also going to thank Mana Traders, the premier place for renting Magic cards online. Well, it can be cheaper if you like to move from deck to deck. You want to play a lot of decks. You want to play Burn one day. You want to try out that Zoo deck. You want to try out the Sultai Infect deck. You want to try full 4-color Omnats. Well, it will be cheaper than buying and selling the cards constantly. If they ban any card, if they ban the companions, they're not going to ban your companions. They're going to ban Mana Traders companions because you are renting the cards with Mana Traders. You can support the channel using my Mana Traders link in the description below, or save 15% off your first 2 months using coupon code Nikachu. So is today Thanksgiving? Not from the United States. In Canada, we got Thanksgiving on a different day. We have it back in October. It was like a month ago. Trevor says, "Happy Thanksgiving, Happy Thanksgiving, Mouse. Happy Thanksgiving, Monster." And good morning, Magus. Good morning, Mitch. Jamagar. Good morning, Aziflea. Sorry to all the good morning. Sorry to all the Native Americans. Good morning. When will White Prowess make a comeback? I don't know if there was ever a White Prowess in the first place. There was a Boros Prowess at best. So is today Turkey Day? I'm taking it today is Turkey Day, which means you shouldn't. Well, either play Coffee and MTG in front of all your family. Good morning, Pancho. Do you think Subtlety found its new home and its Merfolk? Yes, absolutely. Especially right now. For as long as I think the for as long as there's going to be like Solitude and Fury, I think we're going to be having Subtlety. And there's always going to be Planeswalkers, right? And there's always creatures. So I mean, it's never bad, but it's really good versus the other elementals. It's really good stuff. Good morning, Adrian, Aaron, Ventric, Spectre, the Fake Doctor, Aaron, and Shazzy Brown. All right, you know the drill. 3 question marks before the question, 3 question marks after the question. It helps me find your questions amongst all the comments I'm getting on my social media channels, blah, blah, blah. Just like Kurd Quake. Thoughts on about designing more cards like Kavu Predator, unexplored design space. Let's see what Kavu Predator is all about. We've got a 2-mana 2/2 creature. Trample. Whenever an opponent gains life, put that many +1/+1 counters on Kavu Predator. I actually do not think they're going to make cards like this. And I'll tell you why. Magic has, or I would say R&D, has tried their best to move away from cards that makes the opponent feel punished for doing their thing. So if you're up against a life gain deck, they are going to get like, well, basically somewhat punished when playing against this card. So they don't design cards like this anymore. Not really. And why do we want to hate on life gain decks? Like, what's up with that? Why would we want to do that? Unless you do this in such a way that both players gain life. How important is Archmage's Charm for Merfolk? You know, I wouldn't say it's mandatory, but it's very good. I bought Archmage's Charm at their super low. Let's go to mtgstocks.com. You know, I told my Patreon, I think it was around here, like when it was like $1, and I bought my Archmage's Charms for like $2. I only got 3 of them though. I wish I bought more. I told my patrons, hey, look, this is the absolute low this card can get, and this could see play in Merfolk. It could. Stealing Death Shadows is a pretty good thing. It's also a counter spell all wrapped up in one. So it's like, it was theoretically a permanent Threads of Disloyalty, but also doubled as a counter spell. I knew it had the potential. But, of course, it never really saw play up until now. Maybe it was playable the entire time, but I can't give up Cavernous Souls and Mutavault up that easily. I just can't. Especially Cavernous Souls. How was the second day? Have you shown your list yet? Technically... Well, I went X4 for 60th place, Adrian. I'll have... Like, my list is just basically the Tulio list. Not much different there. Here, let me go get it for you. If you are so interested. Okay, here's Tulio. Where is his second place finish? Here it is. He's really been going to work lately. So, I mean, I played this list minus some cages and added 2 more Relic of Progenitus. I also replaced 2 Waterlogged Grove with 2 Fiery Islet. Same thing, but just like different colors to play around Pithing Needle. I should say different name. Different name. Mousman says, what I meant was, when will wizards make more white prowess creatures? I don't know. I actually don't know. I don't know what determines the flavor of prowess. Is it like being cunning? Being smart or something? Like a smart attacker? Like, cause it will definitely come back. It'll definitely come back. I just don't know when. I mean, I can't answer those questions. I'm not Wizards R&D. You gotta ask someone like Gavin Verhey. He would probably give you a much better timeline. Amber's Hangout. Does Legacy Merfolk still use True Name Nemesis? As far as I know, they do. I would. I've not seen a Legacy deck list in quite some time for Merfolk, and we're not even on the board. I don't see Merfolk here. We've completely fallen off the map. World Gorger Dragon is beating Merfolk right now in Legacy. In terms of meta share. Yeah, I see nothing. I would still play it. Like, I don't see any reason not to. Was there much Tron at Vegas? Yes, there was. There was Tron at Vegas. Tron was represented. I saw Tron on day 2. I want Fleetfoot Panther reprinted. What on earth is that? Why do you want it reprinted? Is it so expensive right now? Like, it's cost nothing. Or do you want it in... Oh, you want it in modern. I see. Flash. When Fleetfoot Panther enters the battlefield, return a red or green... Sorry, green... white creature you control to its owner's hand. Is this any good? 3 mana, 3/4. You gotta put a creature back to your hand. I don't even know if this is that good. It gives you like some weird pseudo vigilance with your creature where you get to attack with it. Then you can put the Panther in play, return the creature back to your hand. That costs a lot of mana. What can I replace for an Archmage's Charm and Merfolk? Force a Negation or Counterspell. They will work too. Eden, good morning. I noticed that there are no graveyard strategies in recent modern events. Graveyard strategies are dead. There are no graveyard strategies? None? None? No graveyard strategies whatsoever. Well, I have to admit this is a little bit further down on the meta share than I would have liked. No graveyard strategies? This one doesn't use the graveyard? I think this one uses the graveyard. Also, there's a lot of decks that use the graveyard, but it's not as powerful a combo deck. Although I find it interesting, Blue Living End is lower than Reanimator. I think that's wrong. I think Living End is higher up than it looks here. Maybe there's some other variations of Living End like that are preventing it from having a high place on the metagame here. Murktide Regent uses the graveyard a little bit, but that's not like a graveyard strategy like you're looking for. Anyway, we have a Reanimator and a Living End deck. So there are graveyard strategies. Nardoto, do you think if you had used your other list, it would have gone better? No, because I didn't use Subtlety, and Subtlety was the MVP of the tournament. Subtlety helped me make day 2. Subtlety helped me like win a lot of games I never would have had any business winning. So it was all in Subtlety. I don't think my other list would have done well at all, especially since I can't beat any of the elemental crap. Like I knew that I couldn't beat any elemental deck, and I couldn't beat rhinos, and I still can't really beat rhino. Well, I think I can beat rhinos, but I didn't beat it in the tournament. Now that it made top 8, is Infect here to stay? Probably not. Infect is very easy to hate out. A lot of dangerous cards against Infect. However, we'll see. Let's see if Infect can adapt. Shaboy Onyx saw that Emrakul deck made top 8 on yesterday's stream. Glad to see people still running my favorite card. Oh yeah, you mean the Creativity deck? Is that somewhere in your top whatever number of decks? No, still pretty fringe. Alright, still pretty fringe. I can't find it here. I don't see it. Oh, here it is. No, that's not Glimpse combo. What? Is it really that far, or is it named something else? Dredge Elementals. Oh no, it's here. Indomitably creative. Indomitably. Did you play with Caverns in your deck? Seems important for so much control decks around. No, I did not. And it was hard. It was hard. I was like, every single time one of my creatures got counterspelled or mystical disputed or Archmage's Charmed or Cryptic Commanded, I'm like, ah, fuck, this is so stupid. I want to say it's not worth Archmage's Charm taking out all my Cavernous Souls. But it's close. Cavernous Soul's probably could have done a lot more work for me than what Archmage's Charm did, but I don't know, maybe it's close. Maybe it's close. What do you think of Rakdos Prowess in this metagame? Not great. I think there's a lot of removal. I don't think Prowess is shining like he used to because it's hard to protect your Prowess creatures, even if you rattle off a bunch of spells. Unholy Heat still kills them. And also same thing with Prismatic Ending. How's Merfolk's position in the meta? Fury and Solitude makes me think it'd be a bit difficult to gain a foothold, except we have the Subtlety. Subtlety is the answer to those cards, and it works really well. It works really, really well. So I actually think we have a good position. We have a good playable position in the meta. I'm gonna put it that way. You know, I'm not gonna say Merfolk is something you should be losing sleep over, but we're a deck here. What other decks do you think Subtlety should see play in? Maybe, I don't know. I wouldn't say should is a strong word. Maybe the next best deck I think could play it is maybe the Murktide deck. But that's not to say that they should play it. I'm just saying that's what they could, that's a place it could. Oh no, Blue Living End. This is definitely where I could see play, and it does. This one playing Subtlety? No, this one's not playing Subtlety, but Subtlety can see play in this deck. Well, time to buy a playset of Subtlety before it spikes. Let's take a look at the Subtlety graph. Well, it still hasn't moved, so now's a good time still. Now's a good time. Remember, someone... maybe it wasn't this card, but someone was like, should I sell my copies of this card? And it was like, I looked at the graph, and the graph was just flat. And I'm like, well, it's not like it's gonna go down anywhere. You might as well just hold on to it. But same thing likewise when you want to buy something. Now is a good time to buy. Because it's not likely to go... It's more likely to go up than it will go down. Not financial advice. What do you think of Reed Duke getting a feature match pretty much every round? Well, I mean, he deserves it if he keeps winning. I mean, he was a winner over and over and over again. I think they called 4 feature matches, so no big deal. Were you at MTG Las Vegas and you were getting tired of seeing Reed Duke in the feature matcher? Oh my god, it's this guy again. He was there last round and the round before that. But he was like X and 1 for most of the tournament, so. You playing anything on the Switch lately? I'm playing actually a lot of the Mario Kart. I've gotten fascinated with this. I used to play a lot of Mario Kart when I was younger, and also I love playing Mario Kart Wii. And I played online constantly. The only problem is I don't know how to make the best kart for Koopa Troopa. I don't know the best, like the best vehicle, the best glider. And in 200cc, I seem to like spin out very often. Or I don't know, I have a crappy kart. I don't like the heavy karts. I'm not a heavy person. Would you do content in Pioneer if it became more popular? I would do a little bit of content in Pioneer. I would not do a lot. Ibrahim Magic, did you see a lot of women in GP Vegas? Actually, yes, I did. There were a lot of women in the field. There were more women, I think, at GP MTG Las Vegas than I ever saw in any event. And I played against more women than I ever had before in like between like the main event and side events. So. Number of women playing Magic skyrocketed. So you be nice to them, okay? You be nice. You be nice to them, you people. Don't be scaring them away. You be nice. Be on your best behavior. What do we got here? Oops, I missed my... Where was I with the questions? How did Merfolk do? I got 60th place. Out of 1,400 people. Not bad. Not bad at all. Siffin, glad I got to talk to you in Vegas. Was super fun. You're welcome. And thanks for dropping by. Prowess needs a hexproof cantrip similar to Dart. I can flash it back for sacking an island. That sounds awful. No, let's not print that card. I have a hard enough time against Prowess decks as it is. I don't even touch their creatures. So for the decks that need to destroy those creatures, I want them to be destroyed. LK, during GP, what was the situation with cutting decks? No big deal, or don't touch my cards. I saw some people have some sort of agreement, like cut over here, cut there, but for the most part, it wasn't I like asked the judge. They didn't make any formal announcement. You grab your opponent's deck and you shuffle it. So that's just how it was. And it wasn't a big deal. I sanitized my hands after every round. But that's one thing I didn't like. There was not a lot of sanitizer around. There was one bottle of sanitizer at the judge match results slip table, and that I didn't like. You know, I swear. Let's go to MTG Las Vegas. I swear they said there's going to be sanitizer, or maybe they said they were going to sanitize. No. It says here, hand sanitizer. There was one fucking bottle in that entire convention. Maybe there was two, but it wasn't like I was at an airport. It wasn't like I went to a store where they have tons of like hand sanitizer all over the damn place. So that sort of, I mean, technically, yes, there was a bottle of hand sanitizer in this gigantic convention center, but it was not like it was easily accessible all over the place. Not in the slightest. Complete BS. You got a gaming chair on Thanksgiving? I was in a different area of the convention center. No sanitizer there either. I didn't see it on either side. There maybe, I want to say there might have been a bottle near the, what's it called? The side event registration. But I'm not even sure about that. There was a bottle, like I was using it, but it was at the judge match results slip table. That was it. I didn't see shit anywhere else. So I mean, that I would have I ended up having to use a lot of my own personal hand sanitizer. But whatever. Wizards of the Coast announced any big paper event? Nope, nothing. They have announced nothing. They probably won't until they can guarantee. Like, it would really suck for Wizards to schedule and order and pay for like a bunch of conventions for say the next 2 years. And then, well, there's another outbreak, and then they have to cancel everything. You know, it's a huge cost to Wizards of the Coast. So Wizards of the Coast is not going to host probably anything until they're guaranteed that the convention can happen. Pretty much, they called him every round and didn't even top 8. Yeah, well, that was they let people follow a story. They followed the story of Reed Duke. 200cc on Mario Kart yet? I'm there. Yeah, I'm on 200cc, but I just suck at it. I don't know. I wouldn't say I suck, but I don't feel like I'm tier 1. If only there were better Merfolk and Pioneer. We only actually need one more. I think if we get Mara Regery, that would be a big deal. Or if they gave us Sveloon. You want to give us Sveloon and Pioneer? That'd be great. Now we're talking. That would be cooking with fire. Oh man, Sveloon and Pioneer, that would be just delicious. Sveloon in Modern, like some people are asking me, like telling me, oh wow, this card really put Merfolk over the top. And I said, well, no, more like Sveloon. Let's get Sveloon on the screen. Sveloon didn't really put Merfolk over the top. Sveloon simply made Merfolk still relevant. You know, in a world of super powerful cards, Sveloon at least let us be in the discussion still. We still can play our deck. But imagine getting Sveloon 3 years ago, Merfolk would be tier 1. Maybe tier 0. LA13, and talking about selling, should I sell my Imps Mischief? I always wanted to play with them, but it doesn't seem too strong in Modern. Are they worth any money? I don't even know what this card is. Some $23 card. Change the target of target spell with a single target. You lose life equal to that spell's converted mana cost. Oh, it's a misdirection. That is cute. Sell this before they reprint it. Get rid of it. That is a useless card. It's a commander card. Don't play it in Modern. Sell it before they reprint it. They're going to reprint that thing. That's exactly the kind of card they're going to reprint. Would you ever consider showing how to upgrade the Modern event deck? Nope. I don't know which deck you're talking about, but not really. Wizards of the Coast announced... No, they have not announced anything. Bonk the horny. Oh, yeah, so yeah, be on your best behavior. So that means people will shower before events now, right? Right? Well, either do that strategy or use the deodorant strategy. There were 4 bottles at the registration area. Okay, so that's probably where the bottles were. And I wasn't registering for a lot of side events. I registered for one side event. And I got my ass handed to me. There's a feature match area? What's the thing about Reed Duke? There was a feature match area. It was like, it's like feature match area, but no coverage. You know, so like spectators can watch they know those are like the top tables and stuff like that. Champion of the Fin when? I don't know. I need to like basically work for Wizards of the Coast if that's ever going to be a really big deal. We need an insider to push that narrative to get the cards that we want. Or we need to find the price of some of those people at R&D. All right, how much will it cost me to get a Merfolk or Champion of the Pearl Trident or something like that? It's a competitive EDH card? All right, then. What are the non-negotiables and should be first pickups if someone were to build a Merfolk deck? Aether Vial, I guess. I guess Aether Vial, Lord of Atlantis, Master of the Pearl Trident, Silvergill Adept. Everything else is very replaceable. In fact, even the Lords are replaceable. The worst part of playing MTG online only, home alone by myself, is that some Magic players smell really bad. That's the... Huh? The worst part of playing MTG online only? I don't get it. Are you talking about yourself smelling bad? Because you're the only person at home playing online. How many tribal decks were in day 2? Ooh! Okay, so there was Merfolk and there was Goblins. Non-combo Goblins. It was like just value goblins. What else was there? That might have been it. That might have been it. I don't remember seeing any other tribal. Oh, well, there might have been an elemental deck. You could call like the Omnath's Fury Solitude deck an elemental deck, I guess. So that's the extent of it. Does Wizards of the Coast hire Canadians? Probably. Probably. Is Aether Vial underpriced now? Oh, good question. Good question. Ooh, look at that crash. Ooh, look at that correction right there. I don't know if it's underpriced, but that's a pretty good time to, like, the best time to buy is after a giant crash. Wow, look at that. How did that happen? Did everyone anticipate that Merfolk and humans and spirits were going to take over, and then all of a sudden, no? Yeah, Aether Vial is a good price right now. It's always a good time to... It's funny thing with money, right? You don't want to buy when it's going down because then it feels like you're, you know, it's going to go down lower. But no, that's when you want to buy. It's when there's a crash. Because that's when... How else can you get a discount than when the price goes down? There's no other way of doing it. You don't want to buy it when the price is going up. Because if, like, let's say you bought here at, like, $65. Then you would have gotten screwed now that it's $44. Anyway, that's interesting. Yeah, Aether Vial seems to be... I wouldn't say it's a good price, but it's like a better time to buy than, say, I don't know, a few months ago. Good morning, Casper. Happy Thanksgiving. How many people competed in the main event at GP Las Vegas? 1,400 people, and it was sold out. So they could have taken more, but they had to turn them away. Sorry, you didn't pre-register. Now fuck off. I wonder how many people... This might not have been a large number of people, but I wonder how many people, like, booked a plane ticket and a hotel, and there was no main event ticket. So, like, the first thing you should do before booking anything is to buy, like, pre-register first. And then after that has been confirmed, okay, now go book your hotel and all that other crap. Do you ever cut Silvergill Adept? I do, and especially combo matchups where I don't expect the game to go very long. Or, like, I cut it against elves because card advantage just doesn't matter. It doesn't attack well, it doesn't block well, so there's actually a lot of matchups where I cut Silvergill Adept. Like, in any matchup where you're very likely to die with a lot of cards in your hand, that's a matchup you should side out the Silvergill Adept. Because what do you need more cards for when it doesn't seem to matter? Did Dredge make an appearance? I did not see it. I saw a Living End deck deep on the top tables. I saw several Charbelcher decks. I did not see Dredge, actually. No humans on day 2? Not that I saw. There might have been, but not that I saw. Oh yeah, Prismatic Ending was pretty bad for the Aether Vial deck, so not good. When did this crash? I guess shortly after shortly after Modern Horizons 2 came out. Oh, was on Aether Vial not so good anymore. Adrian says, I'm a Shy Guy player, but I use an acceleration build, trying to use the brakes and hit max speed as fast as possible. I use Wild Wiggler or Streetle to keep up. What the hell is this? Wild Wiggler? I have no idea what this is all about. No Rhino Tribal? No Rhino Tribal. I mean, there's Rhino decks out there, but not exactly a tribal deck. What exactly enables the 4-color suit money tribal decks? My bet is Renin 6 and Triomes. What exactly enables? It's a lot of card advantage. Like, and if you can get to 5 mana and just playing Solitudes and Furies and just hardcast them, that's so powerful. And then if you combine it with now the Cascade mechanic with Shardless Agent and what's it called? Violent Outburst, you can get like 8 power. It's basically 3 mana, 8/8 trample creature. Like that's essentially what it is. So like the deck can like interact very early on in the game with like Petty Theft and Stomp from Bone Crusher Giant and a number of other like what is it called, like something in Gone. I can't remember the red double split card, but it's got early interaction, but it just comes over the top with massive card advantage. Massive card advantage. And of course you can talk about Ren and 6 being like good card advantage as well. Sultai Infect is the new hot? Yes, and very hot. That is a very... I mean, if someone brought that on Decklist review, I'd be like, this is really weird. This is really weird. Like, cut the blue or something. Do you have any idea how Liliana the Veil is still so expensive? Is it really played anywhere? No, it's played nowhere. It makes no sense. I think people should sell their Liliana the Veils. It's just price memory. Well, it's going down. Like, people are realizing, this card might not see play anymore. Anyway, it's going down. It's on its way down. It might be a really slow burn, because this was... Liliana the Veil was just like a modern staple for like 6, 7 years, 7, 8, 9 years. So it's hard for people to like let that card go. Really hard for people to let that card go. But look how much it crashed here. It actually only went up partially because of inflation, right? So it actually Liliana was on its way down. She's going down, 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 down. She's like, and then, actually this is like around 2021. See, if anyone was going to buy, it should have been earlier. Anyway, I cannot explain this. bunch of people decide to buy out Liliana the Veil or something like that. Silvergill Adept, a sideboard card. No, it's a main deck card. Mitch says, thanks to MTG Las Vegas, my local game store now has 7 more Amulet players. It's a good time. Well, it is if you're a Blood Moon deck. Could you have won 1 or 2 more matches if you had started with Silvergill Adept in your sideboard? No, I don't think so. I could have won maybe 1 or 2 more matches if I sideboarded better. Did I raise the wrong thing? I'm playing Mario Kart. Huh? Did I say the wrong name? No humans or spirits. I'm surprised. I thought they're making a comeback. No. Well, spirits is still around. Like, I still see the spirit players still put up results. Humans is in really shitty shape, though. Humans is not doing very well. I did see one humans deck, though. Because I saw humans versus burn on one table. Marcel, not a question, but I super hate Blue Eye Control and other shells. Most annoying deck ever. That's how Control is. They control you. Can I play a spell? No. Can I play a spell? No. Can I play a spell? Yes. But actually, no. We should get a Discord thing going on with Mario Kart. Like, I'd like to play some multiplayer. Also, like, my friends got me this for my birthday, and they haven't played with me once. What the hell's up with that? My birthday was over a month ago. Do you see Sully Merfolk as the go-to for the foreseeable future? Absolutely. So if you're a Merfolk player, you get your subtleties. Get your subtleties, people. Could Spectral Adversary see some modern play? It may be out of the sideboard when you're an aggressive deck. I don't know what this is. Or Spectral Adversary? When there's a battlefield, I can pay the blue one generic. When you pay this cost 1 or more times, put that many +1/+1 counters on the adversary, and then up to that many target artifacts, creatures, and/or enchantments phase out. Could see some modern play maybe out of the sideboard when you're the aggressive deck. This is not a very aggressive card. Like, it's sort of aggressive. Well, not really. Like, you're realistically going to make this a 3/2 creature and blink one thing, or phase out one thing. Anyway, I'm not particularly impressed by it. What do you think about the the open house promo for Silvergill Adept? I absolutely love it. What is the open house promo? You mean this? Honestly, I just like the Lorwyn the most. I mean, these are all good Silvergill Adepts for the most part, but my favorite is the Lorwyn one. Nothing against the other ones, they just don't stand up to the OG for me. I like the colors of the OG one. I like the gold I like the gold colors in the image. Uri, if Lurrus gets banned, would Liliana come back instantly, or do you think that there's no room for her anymore? She might still be gone. The deal is that, like, Modern is just not clunky anymore. So when you have, like, a bunch of creatures in play, and they're usually going to be a bunch of 1-drops, and you play Liliana and you edict your opponent, like, it's just a bad Teferi Time Raveler for the most part. Like, you just sacrifice your worst creature. Whereas Teferi Time Raveler, you, like, draw a card, you bounce the actual... You remove from the battlefield exactly what you want to remove, and the static ability is just better. I think Teferi Time Raveler is just does a much better job than what Liliana the Veil does. The best ability on Liliana the Veil is just the tick up and make your opponent discard a card, which is very relevant versus like control and combo decks. But it's hard to say. I just sort of want to say no. She's just outclassed. This whole -1 thing is pretty crappy these days. I would say she'll always be like a fringe card, but she's never going to be like a main staple in any deck anymore. Except for maybe 8-rack, if that ever becomes a real deal. Yeah, actually there was a mention here. 8-rack. Casper, we all know Chalice of the Void would have been absolutely cataclysmic at GP Las Vegas. I would argue that Eldrazi Tron is the best Chalice deck, so where were all the Eldrazi players? Well, I don't know if Chalice would have been that big of a bomb, because the Crashing Footfall players still play with like Solitude and Fury and Omnath, and they've got like, you know, they just have a very good deck. And then there was a lot of control decks, Blue-Eye Control, and it's not clear to me that Eldrazi Tron would have done perfectly against them. They would have done fine. Cavern of Souls is strong. I don't know, it would have been interesting. Just need an Eldrazi pilot there. People wait for Liliana to go back as soon as Lurrus gets banned. Yeah. The Jund Boomers are keeping Liliana expensive. They're just diamond hands on Liliana. Oh, my comment was about Mario Kart? About the Shy Guy? Okay. Mario Kart Discord, let's go! Let's go! Discord Monopoly? I might be up for that too. But the theory is that Monopoly can get boring if everyone knows the strategy and the rules. But I'm not sure if that's actually true. I think that's actually where the game begins. Because once everyone knows like the basic theory, now you got to make some compromises. Oh, you couldn't get all the oranges? Maybe you got to work with the purples and the light blues. And you bankrupt someone. And then you get the oranges. Any news on how pawns have performed? Not great. I mean, I didn't see any big pawns on the top tables. Or any red-green aggro. To be honest, I wasn't like scouting the top tables a lot. Like a lot of my matches finished late. So I didn't see that stuff. Do you have a Merfolk answer to Bastion decks? What the hell? I'm getting a lot of weird questions today. What's a Bastion deck? I don't know. Counterspells. For any problem, Merfolk has counterspells. Herbert asks, why does not see Zephyr Spirit more play? Zephyr... I'll just put Zephyr. You gotta be more precise here. Which Zephyr Spirit? Linessa Zephyr Mage. Return target creature with convert mana cost X to its owner's hand. I think this card is very clunky. It's like 4 mana and doesn't really do anything. It's 4 mana, and I have to pay an activated cost in order to, like, bounce something. I might as well just play Venser. 4 mana, bounce a permanent. Immortal the Pharaoh. Thoughts on Spirit decks incorporating Curious Obsession with the recent printing of Geist Light Snare, or maybe just the Snare is good enough to main deck? I think Curious Obsession is like... It's just to win more. In a format like Modern... Okay, hold on. In Pioneer, I think that is a lot more legitimate of a chance of working. But in Modern, there's just too much removal. So you will, at best, get 1 card in exchange for attacking with your Curious Obsession. So, and then the creature will die on the following turn, because there's just so much removal in Modern. And then you just basically exchange Curious Obsession for a card. So the only way you get like a return, like a good return on Curious Obsession, is if when you hit your opponent and then you can protect the creature and hit them again, which is so unlikely in Modern. It's just very unlikely, basically impossible. You can't ask the same. Yeah, don't we have mods here? Here, we'll put you in timeout. You asked too many questions, Alejandra. Just ask once. Yeah, competitive. Well, I'm not. I'm sort of a pony right now in Mario Kart. Like I was good when I played Mario Kart Wii, but I'm definitely a pony now. I'm still like feeling out the courses. Brandon, as a Dredge player myself, why don't you think people brought it to Vegas? Is there just too much hate? They probably just didn't have the confidence because it wasn't performing that well online, that's all. So if they have a choice, they probably went with like Living End or what's it called? Belcher. Like Belcher, I mean, if you're a Living End player, you're like part of the school of Sodek, right? Sorry, if you're a Dredge player, you come from the school of Sodek, and Sodek was pumping up Belcher for the last few weeks. So that's probably the main reason. Anyway, time for deck list review. If you want your deck list reviewed by the community, you can go in the description below. There's a link to my Discord. And join the Discord. And there's a channel called Decklist Review. And there you can enter the command !review deck space give the URL to your deck list. And you'll be eligible at random for deck list review. On this wonderful Thanksgiving Day. Morning, Aztec guy. People are asking about... Okay, hold on. Okay, I had a late night last night. I've been watching videos about competitive settlers of Catan, and there are lines as complicated as MTG. I believe it. Camille is like, hey, I have only 2 Archmage's Charms. What other 2 cards should I add to the new version of Merfolk? Play Force of Negation. Force of Negation is good. You don't have Force of Negation? Play Counterspell. I don't have Subtlety for now. Can Vendilion Click be a replacement? No. No, absolutely not. That's not even close to the same thing. No Subtlety? I guess Brazen Borrower. But there's really no good replacement for Subtlety. Maybe Venser is like an okay replacement, but it's not good. It's not that great. Thoughts on Subtlety and Solitude and Spirits? I'd have to see it in action. I don't think Spirits wants to play with card. I'd have to see it in action. Maybe it's not such a bad idea. One Force Negation, 1 Counterspell it is. Okay, let's go check out some deck lists. I can feel my throat recovering from MTG Las Vegas because I have to basically yell in that convention hall. You know, and you better believe Nikachu's going to yell much louder than everybody else. Alright, congratulations, gold medals. You're the next contestant for Decklist Review. And we've got Mono White Humans. No, you're probably getting tired of seeing my name, but I pay for no... Did you? Oh, God. Okay, well, I'll get to it tomorrow, then. I still have to play your other deck. Alright, Mono White Humans. We've got Boros Elite, Champion of the Parish, the Kithian Hero of Akros, Thal's Lieutenant, Thalia, Garden of Thraben, Benelish Marshal, Field Marshal. Other soldiers get +1/+1 at first strike. That's not bad. Militia Bugler, Thalia, Heretic Cathar, and Ranger of Eos. What about Ranger Captain of Eos? That might be more useful, because that protects you from sweepers. Gideon Blackblade. Gideon of the Trials. I actually don't like these very much at all. And I think if you have a 4-mana, like, first off, I think we should probably play with Ranger. Hold on, let me look at this. Maybe we don't. See, the advantage to Ranger Captain is on your opponent's turn. Let's say against a control deck, you can, like, sacrifice this at their upkeep and they can't Supreme Verdict you. Opponent cannot cast non-creature spells this turn. It's, like, just really good interaction overall for humans. But what could you get at 1 mana? Because this is, like, sort of poopy. This is poopy. This might not be poopy. The end of combat, if Kythian, Hero of Akros, and at least 2 other... That might be okay. I don't know. I don't know if I can justify this. The 1-drops sort of suck. You want 4 Kythian? You realize this is a legendary creature. Like, we could go that... let's see. Gideon of the Trials. I know I don't like these cards. Gideon of the Black Blade. Nah, I don't like these cards. If one target creature you control gains your choice of Vigilance, Lifelink, or Indestructible until end of turn. And there's got to be some better stuff we can do with our mana here. Or maybe not. I don't know. At the very least, you can play some Cavern of Souls. Is it a budget? Hi, you reviewed this deck a few months ago, and I added in some of the cards you recommended. Field Marshal, Ranger, Thalia. Just wondering if you like how the deck list looks. Which Ranger? This Ranger? I guess if you get 2, that's fine. I'm just wondering if we get to 4 mana and you want to play with Planeswalkers, should you just get the 4 mana Gideon? Gideon! Because this also gives you an emblem and a bunch of creatures. And it's pretty good against control. How much is this? Okay, this is my decision. We're gonna go... You have 23 lands, which is actually quite a few lands. I'm assuming this is... I'm assuming this is budget. How expensive is this? It's not bad! Look, Battle for Zendikar you can get for $4.45. Remove Gideon Blackblade and Gideon of the Trials for Gideon Ally of Zendikar. And I think that would be good enough. Agree. No path, play Portable Hole, or On Thin Ice. Do we need removal? Like, do we need it so badly? I think this is mostly a creature aggro deck. Like, what do you want to take out for this removal? I have a feeling it's a budget deck, because there's, like, no expensive cards in this deck. So Ether Vial will blow the budget. How expensive? It's $154. 1 Ether Vial is like 40 bucks. Playset of Ether Vial costs more than the deck. 17 land, you'll never play the Planeswalkers. I think that's just a very different deck, Magus. Would be for fun, but Battalion, Foot Soldier, and Force of Virtue. Why not just main deck Lurrus instead of Gideon? I wouldn't say there's like a million things that you can grab with your Lurrus. And these aren't even great things to grab. Like, you can do that, but I wouldn't say this is a great Lurrus deck. The better cards are 3 mana or higher. Even if you had Lurrus in the main deck. Oh yeah, Skyclave Apparition is good, but I think it's expensive. Oh, it's not bad. The price went down by quite a bit. That actually might be good removal here. Maybe that could replace like a Gideon Blackblade and a Gideon of the Trials and maybe 1 land. And you could play like 3 and probably 3 to 4 Skyclave Apparition. Like, it's very strong. Maybe replace the Thalia Heretic Cathar. That's an option too. What do we have in the sideboard? Path to Exile? Yeah, you could replace this with On Thin Ice. It's probably better. Or Portable Hole, but probably On Thin Ice, and you have to play with the Snow-Covered Plains, which might add to your budget, but, you know. You gotta do what we gotta do. Dampings for Heliod's Intervention, destroy X artifacts or enchantments. Target player gains twice X life. It's okay. Core Firewalker and Rest in Peace. Yeah, these are fine. No, Charming Prince is a value. Charming Prince is actually not that good. It's like more of a value card than an aggro card. This is pretty aggro deck. This is a pretty aggro deck. Or maybe you take out a Ranger Captain of Eos, 1 land, Gideon of the Trials, and Gideon Blackblade, and replace with 4 Skyclave Apparition. Otherwise, other that, or fit in some of the Gideon Ally of Zendikar, because I think that's it. I mean, the early game is good. I like it. Well, Collected Company forces you to splash green, so this is just a very different deck. Night of the White Orchid, Orchid seems like a good body, or want to try Mirren Crusader. I don't know about either of these cards. White Orchid? Orchid? Nah, this is like... Again, this is not a very aggro card. This is just, it's like a value card. I think Mirren Crusader is good, but it's like clunky at 3 mana. It's just a 2/2 double strike or something. Oh, the pro green and pro black. It's like okay. It can be a sideboard card in the right matchups. Anyway, those are all my only suggestions. So you have a choice of removing these and adding Gideon. Well, the 4 mana Gideon or Skyclave Apparition, and you probably can remove a Plains no matter what in all those cases, and replace Path to Exile and play with probably Antanice. Antanice is a good one. Moving on. Chernobog. Glimpse into the future. Let's see. Man, do I have to wrap my head around this? Okay, so we have Risen Reef, Shardless Agent, Goblin Dark Dwellers, Wave Sifter, Chancellor of the Forge, Grizzlebrand, Terastodon, 3 Ionas, Kozilek, Ulamog, 2 Emrakuls, Ugin, Glimpse of Tomorrow, and the whole point of this card is shuffle all permanents you own into your library, then reveal that many cards from the top of your library, put all non-aura permanent cards revealed this way onto the battlefield, then do the same for aura cards. Then put the rest of them on the bottom of your library in a random order. You like swap everything in play for permanents off the top of your library. Shuffle all permanents you own into your library, then reveal that many cards from the top of your library. Yeah, so like, so you have 7 lands in play, shuffle them up, put them in your deck, and then start flipping over 7 cards. And hopefully it's all these bombs. All these bombs. Do they just go directly in play, or they all get cast? Put all non-aura permanents revealed this way onto the battlefield. So basically Shardless Agent doesn't do anything because there's no cast. Well, I mean, Shardless Agent is in this deck for the Cascade, so... But, I mean, if it got revealed, it doesn't do anything. But this is an ETB. Enters the battlefield, investigate twice. That's an ETB. I don't know what this card is. I'm not going to read it. I don't know what all these other cards do. This does not get cast, no ETB. But, you know, the Annihilator is good. Is this just a worse version of the Hard Evidence Glimpse deck? I don't know, because I've never played either of them. We are not cutting Shardless Agent. This deck plays Violent Outburst. You need at least 2 Cascade spells, and the 2 Cascade spells these days are Violent Outburst, Shardless Agent. Never mind, I'm not live. Ignore the comment. Some people are just grossly out of sync, right? You can splash red to go Human Soldier. I built that deck before COVID, and it was pretty nice with the Vial, but it's not really budget because of the Vial in the Cavern. Well, we don't need... I don't think we need any more Cascaders. I think the deck has 4. That's enough. I guess what it comes down to is like, oh, and it has As Foretold as backup as well. That's it. That's pretty good tech, actually. I like that. So like it's basically if you have the Glimpse in your hand, As Foretold just works as like basically a Cascader, and then you lose the As Foretold in play. It adds to your permanent count. Leyline of Sanctity, more permanence. Omniscience, more permanence. Deck looks good. Next. This is just a really complicated looking deck. We don't want to analyze it. We have Arid Mesa, Breeding Pool, Colony Garden, of course. Sideboard, Ether Gust, Confounding Conundrum, Dragon's Claw, Anger of the Gods, Mystical Dispute, Foundation Breaker, Fire and Ice, Elish Norn, Grand, Cenobite. Do we need Confounding Conundrum? Or, like, you have a problem against Amulet Titan decks? I'm not sure, but I would imagine this deck can stomp Amulet decks, but maybe I'm wrong. Because maybe like, if you get Iona out and you just say green, like, I think they're just screwed. No Force of Negation. I think they want as many permanents as possible, because Force of Negation is not something you can put on top of your deck. Or sorry, Force of Negation is not a card you can put in your library. And I bet this deck is comboing off at sorcery speed between As Foretold and Shardless Agent. So, like, you can't even protect your combo enough. How fast is this deck? Not fast. You have 3 turns. And they can whiff, too. Like, I've played against this deck and it just did nothing. They got well, I mean, they got some big stuff in play, but, you know, their life total is low enough that I was able to finish them off. Feels like a copy to... I mean, it happens. A lot of people send us copies of stuff, so it's all good. Can this deck beat Teferi at all? Probably no. Not in the main deck. Except for, like, hard casting Shardless Agent and just attacking the Teferi over and over again. Grizzlebrand, Terastodon. Can't cast the really expensive stuff. You know, they might be cold to a Teferi. But that's just how it be. That's how it be. Alright, this is a nice list. You got stuff. I don't know about the Confounding Conundrum, though. It looks like it's... But, I mean, it's good against Amulet. It is good against Amulet. You have problems versus Amulet? Alright, Confounding Conundrum. And that'd be another day of Coffee and MTG. If I didn't get your comments, questions, or deck list, we do this Monday to Friday, 9 o'clock a.m. Central Standard Time. Be there or be square. You love Coffee and MTG, and you don't support the channel? You could always drop a sub at twitch.tv/Nikachu-MTG, become a patron, or you can hit the join button on YouTube. So thank you very much, everyone, for another wonderful day. So keep brewing up those coffees, and we will keep brewing up the magic. Take care, and I will see you all next